guys they know well are the team from Denmark. So here we go then. It is the compound gold medal match for the men's teams, and we will welcome the archers onto the field of play, starting with the men of Denmark. Here they come onto the blue carpet laid here over the shingle beach of Antalya. The Danish team beat India in the semi-finals to get into this match, 236 to 234, and they scored 237 in the quarterfinals. So they'll be aiming for a similarly high score in this match. They'll need it, won't they? So Damsbo, Darum and Hansen will be up against the archers from the United States. Sure of a big cheer probably, I think, as they come out onto the field here. The giant Steve Anderson with a message to the crowd. Not quite sure what that means, but I think
he's always a goof.
So the US team lining up on the shooting line. Steve Anderson there waving to the crowd. He takes his hat off very politely, as does Braden Gallenthien and Rio Wilde. All very polite gentlemen with their hats on. And Tommy Takeuchi is the line judge. He sends the archers back to the coaching boxes, and the match will be underway with the USA shooting first. Daniel, is that an advantage to shoot first, do you think, in a match like this where you want to establish your credentials early?
I would say so. A lot of times you just want to put that pressure on and start them off.
The USA have that virtue, of course, because they're ranked #1 in the world right now, so they would shoot first as a matter of course. It looks like Rio Wilde will step up to the line first of all. An urgency to his first pace up to the line there. Up comes the bow. And a 9 for Rio Wilde with his first arrow.
Gave it a couple clicks, so no doubt the next one will be right there.
Anderson with his first arrow of the match. 10. And it is a 10.
That's a big 10 you shot in our last one. No, I shot 2 last. His front shot, Braden.
Gallenthien performing the anchor roll. And 10 for him. 3 very different shooting styles from the 3 US archers, actually. We'll come on to that in a bit once we've watched the Danes. And we've got Hansen to open up here. He's a current world champion in the individual events. And a 10 for him to start with. Darum to shoot second. I'll be interested to see how he performs in this match, because of all 6 archers on the field, he's probably the one who we know a bit less about, probably a little bit less experienced than the others, but obviously the Danish team very strong all the way through, including this guy, Martin Damsbo, who archery fans all over the world will know very well. And a 10 for him. So nothing to choose between the 2 teams, which is about what we expected.
Yes. Nine
for Rio, so 2 9s for him. A little further away actually from the centre of the target with his second arrow there, which is, you frowned a tiny bit.
Not expected from him.
So Anderson, he's just been astonishing all week, actually, shooting perfectly in qualification and knockout rounds. A 10 for him. We'll see him again this afternoon in the individual match because he's shooting for gold. And Gallenthien, we'll see him shooting for bronze later on this afternoon. But all they can think about right now is this match, of course, and more 10s for the US team. 58 points, only dropping 2. Their first 6 arrows. And an X for Hansen. For Darum, another X. So a 9 to level scores for Damsbo. If he can land a 10, that's a 1-point lead for Denmark after the first end. And it is a 10.
That's the group you want down there as a team for sure.
Final arrow, ladies and gentlemen, and number 1 in the books, the team of Denmark on arrows 4, 5, and 6.
So just 1 point in it. Interestingly, seeing the two teams kind of talking to each other there. We've not seen that so far, but they know each other really, really well.
Definitely.
A little bit of laughing on the line too.
Go up against the same people so many times, you almost have to form that friendship, and they're always there, so it makes it fun.
I guess with 2 teams like this, you wouldn't panic, would you? If you had, if you're the US team and you're Steve Anderson and you've got Rio Wilde on one side of you, you've got Braden Gallenthien on the other, you know you're in safe hands, don't
definitely.
you? And like we were saying earlier on, there's not too many chinks in the US armor, actually.
There's no weakling. I mean, even 4 of those, because Bridgers in the coaching, they all shoot very strong scores, and it can be any one of them, and they know they're going to be shooting 10s.
Team USA will shoot first on target lock when we continue.
Deep Bridger, who's going to be sat in your chair this afternoon helping me with the commentary.
Oh, really?
Let's go, Rio.
So Rio Wilde to lead off again.
Good strong shot, buddy.
He seems to lean back a little further in his stance than most other archers you see.
Yeah, that's definitely kind of been his little signature.
Yeah.
Paid off for him there, his first 10 of the match.
Steve, keep it going.
A little bit of encouragement now for Anderson. Let's keep it going, says Rio.
Yeah.
And another 10. Have the USA found their range now? Have they hooked it up? Let's see what Gallenthien can do with his first arrow of this second set. A little bit more of the effort etched on his face than the other 2, but it's a 10 nonetheless, 30 points, taking them to 88. Hansen, very cool customer.
Oh yeah. 10.
Another 10 for him. It really is going to be a very narrow margin, this one, isn't it?
Oh, yes. Don't have any biased opinions, obviously, no, but I'm curious to see what happens.
9.
Damsbo takes aim.
10.
Target 50 meters away, hits another 10.
Keep it going, bud.
So it's all square, 88 each. 3 more arrows to come. Here's Rio Wilde.
Nice.
And a 10 for him. The arrows he shot in the first end, just sighters, really.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is you step out here and you don't know what's going to happen sometimes, and it just takes a couple to get adjusted. And
10 for Anderson. And USA on for a perfect score here in this second end. And you'd back Braden Gallenthien to get a 10 here.
9.
But it's a 9. And you can see the annoyance on his face, actually, because that's an unusual shot.
Right. And they expect to shoot 10s every time, and sometimes when you don't, and that one's just off, so it's a little bit like, ah.
I mean, the scoreboard there just marks that 9 with a star. So it's on the line between 9 and 10. Very difficult to say. So it could still be possible, yeah. So here's Darum, the middle archer, protected maybe by Damsbo and Hansen either side of him.
10.
9 with his last arrow, but a 10 for him this time around. So Damsbo needs a 10 to tie up the scores.
9.
And it is a 9, so 116 points
Team USA
for Denmark.
Knob up just one notch.
And the USA now on 117, and actually if Gallenthien's arrow is upgraded, that would be a 2-point game right there after
but the official
halfway stage. So
9 asterisk,
which means 2 points between these two teams is significant.
It's significant, but it's still so close, and it's hard to. I'm not relieved yet, so I know they're still like, it's not over. We still have to keep shooting good scores.
To 116, a star-studded lineup indeed. World class on the field of play. Steve Anderson, 29 years of age, averaging 9.67.
So as we said, in the
World Field Archery Champion.
Quarterfinals, the US team beat Italy 237 to 230, and then they defeated France 235 to 232. So that 237 score there, the highest we've seen besides Denmark for any team shooting this weekend. So that's only 3 points dropped in the whole match, and they could be looking at that kind of score again here this afternoon.
I wouldn't be surprised if they don't. I mean, they've all been shooting so good.
The world record in the 15-arrow round.
So the USA, ranked #1 in the world and qualified in first place this week. They've earned that ranking. These are 3 of the top, not just the top US archers, but the top archers in the world, actually. There's not too many better with a compound bow than those 3.
It's amazing, and being able to travel with them, and I try to learn from them as much. They've been here so much, and they're so experienced and such great shooters.
Do they share that experience with you, amongst the team? Do you get the benefit of that?
Sometimes. I mean, it's not a lot, but even just listening to being around them during practice and different things like that, you learn so much. And just see how they are all the time and how they act.
Even their attitude, I guess, how they handle themselves around a long week of shooting.
Right, and you learn things like getting upgrades on planes to make the travel a little bit better and different things like that.
You mean you don't all sit together?
Not usually.
So Denmark 19 points here. Damsbo taking aim as the anchorman for the Danish team. His arrow is away, and another 10 for him. So 29 points for Denmark, taking them to 145. So now the first 3 arrows of this third end for the USA. Wilde again, performing the lead role.
9.
And a 9 for him. Anderson, all 10 so far, and another one for him. I think you can see the confidence flowing through Steve Anderson.
Definitely, when he's on, and he knows it. Like, he knows he's shooting well. And
this is as well as a potential gold medal for him here. He's got a a great chance to just feel his way into this venue as well for the individual gold medal match later on today.
Yeah, it's nice to see the confidence here because that means it'll show up in his next match as well.
10.
10 from Hansen. Very impressive shooter. You know, he's a young guy, only 21, ranked #1 in the world and the world champion. And his teammate, Andreas Darum, lands a 10. So Denmark doing absolutely everything they can possibly do to stay in this match. As Damsbo, a team world champion himself in years past.
9.
And a 9 for him, 174 for Denmark so far. So Rio, hitting a few more 9s than you might imagine for someone of his class.
Right.
But you'd put your hamps on him normally, wouldn't you?
9.
Another 9, hitting a hole that he found earlier on.
Yeah, bud. Strong shot.
Anderson with a 9, his first of the match.
Let's go, Braden. Pick him up. Good strong shot.
And here goes Gallenthien. And a 10 for him.
They needed it.
He did. 174 points for each team, and only 6 more arrows to go. This is great. This is exactly the match we wanted to see.
Right, and then as much as I'd like to see them have a big lead, it's a lot more exciting when it's close, and it makes it more fun, I personally think, watching.
Who here is in favor of Team Denmark?
So some nice shouts from the crowd for the Danish team.
Show your support for the United
Interesting, isn't it? You just look at Hansen there, he's got his hands on his hips, he's not smiling really, you know, he's not had a great tournament actually. You know, he knocked out a little bit earlier than he was expecting in the individuals, although we'll see him in the mixed team later, but you know, he's hanging his hopes on this match.
Right, I mean, he's been shooting well, it's just not quite there, and I was definitely surprised to see him go out that early. He's usually right at the top, and he's a great shooter, so this is definitely where he wants that win here.
It's not too many comparisons you can make between archery and other sports, is there? But it is one of those sports where you can only shoot what you've got, you know, and what you can shoot a personal best, and if the person stood next to you is 1 point better, there's nothing you can do about it.
Definitely, and that's the hardest part, is to know you did well. They just did that much better. Like, that could have been the best day they've ever had, and you had your best day, but theirs was just a little bit better, and anything can happen out there.
So the relaxation is over now. You can see on Rio Wilde's face that he wants this. 9 for him. Something like 27 World Cup medals in his total career for Rio Wilde. The more you got, the more you want, I guess.
Exactly.
Anderson with a 10, never in doubt, on fire at the moment. Here's Gallenthien.
Oh, crap.
9.
And a 9 for him, and he's not too happy with that shot.
Yeah, they know they need 10s at this point, because Denmark's not going to just give it to them.
No, that's 2 points dropped, really, isn't it? When you're that good, when you know.
Right. And we say gold is good, but sometimes you have to have those 10s, and 9s are not good enough.
So
2 10s for the Danes, and Damsbo will shoot his penultimate arrow of the match. The clock ticking gently down as he takes aim.
Yep.
And another 10 for him. Exactly what the Danes need to do at this stage.
Go, Rio.
So they've got a 2-point lead on the USA here. So real pressure on Rio Wilde now to come up with a 10. And it's a 9 from him.
You can tell he's not too happy with that right now.
Yep.
Another 10 from Anderson. He's doing
Good strong shot, Braden.
a lot of the work here for the US team.
Everything
here,
he can.
Yeah. Gallenthien with a 9. Moods changed a little bit amongst the 3 US archers there. Not quite so buoyant now, even though they're definitely still in this match. They know that a couple of those 9s should have been 10s, really.
Definitely.
9.
Denmark with a 9.
That's close.
Yeah, I might fancy that might be upgraded, actually. Look pretty close to the line there. But we'll see. That'll be dramatic when they come down to it, won't it? Because
9.
that's a 9. So 230 the USA finished with. Their lowest score of the competition so far. A 9 to win for Denmark. And it is a 10 from Martin Damsbo. Congratulations to Denmark. The match goes to them, building on the performance of the women's team here this morning. Certainly taking inspiration from it. They have the gold medal. And Stephan Hansen, Andreas, Darum and Martin Damsbo will climb the steps of the podium shortly. Hansen makes up for his disappointment in the individual event. He'll be back in the mixed team event here this afternoon with another shot for gold. But right now, as the sun shines down on all of us here in Antalya, it is Denmark who take gold in stage 2 of the 2017 Hyundai Archery World Cup. Congratulations to them, and 2 points the margin in the end. Danielle, what was the difference, do you think, between these two brilliant teams?
I think really it was just that confidence. I mean, they both came in confident, having fun, but when you gotta remember, a 9 is not the end of the world, so they still need to keep shooting and anything can happen, and Denmark stayed very calm and just kept shooting and staying consistent, so they didn't let the frustration get to them.
I think that the Danes had a bit of a point to prove, maybe. I think individually the USA archers had gone deeper into the tournament, hadn't they? You know, we'll see Gallenthien and Anderson later on in the individual medal matches, whereas the Danes had got knocked out individually themselves earlier in the week. And I did wonder whether actually that might play in the favour of the USA, actually, because they'd shot more, they were more confident, perhaps.